The New York Knicks look like one of the best teams in basketball right now. They're playing the right way, and they're doing everything they need to do to be a strong team headed into the postseason. However, former GM of the New York Knicks, Scott Perry, shares some concerns about the Knicks and their postseason success. We're going to break down his latest comments and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. Scott Perry shares concerns over the Knicks and their playoff appearance. Right now, in the NBA, there's probably no better team in the league than the New York Knicks. Let's take last night for an example. They faced off against the top seeded in the Eastern Conference, Boston Celtics. They beat them down and beat them bad. I don't want to hear anything about the end of the season game. They had all of their starters available, everybody fully healthy. And the reason they played everybody is because they wanted a true test against the New York Knicks, a legitimate playoff threat. However, they could not handle the test that the Knicks were throwing at them. The Knicks beat them bad, beat them down, blew them out, and did everything you wanted to see them do against a top-seeded team in the Eastern Conference, so close to the postseason. So I love to see it. However, if you're former GM of the New York Knicks and Scott Perry, you're still concerned about the Knicks and their postseason success. Let's hear exactly from Scott Perry and see what he said about the Knicks and how they're going to do in the postseason. Roll it.
A player that you were very close with, Julius Randle, is now out for the rest of the season. How does this impact the Knicks, and how do you see them going on without him?
Absolutely a tough blow for the Knicks guys. And here's why. Look, whenever you lose an all-star and all-NBA player like this, it's going to make it difficult. Now, this team has performed very well in his absence. Jalen Brunson is having a terrific year, probably is on his way to being all-NBA as well. But when you get into the playoffs, you need that reliable second option who can take over a game with his ability to score the basketball. That will be, in my opinion, sorely missed with this Knicks team. I do think they will compete and battle hard. They still will be a difficult out in a playoff series. But losing Julius Randle, in my opinion, definitely hurts their chances into making any type of deep run, which I thought they would have made had they had him in the lineup.
Honestly, guys, that's some fair criticism coming from Scott Perry. Let's break it down a little bit. He's basically stating that the reason he's so scared for the New York Knicks come the postseason is because they don't have their three-time All-Star in Julius Randle. And if anybody else was speaking about the Knicks and talking about the fact that they have a lot of players, but they're missing their three-time All-Star, another player that can help this Knicks team go farther come the postseason, a lot of people may consider what Scott Perry is saying here as truth, as no issues and no problems at all. And honestly, the New York Knicks missing one of their key scorers is going to hurt them come the postseason. Because as I mentioned in a number of videos already covering Julius Randle, when Randle is playing for the Knicks and he's down low, he draws sometimes 2 or 3 defenders with him. When he does that, it opens up the corners, it opens up the wings, it opens up the perimeters. All of these avenues for the shooters you have on this team to have free reign to shoot and shoot without any obstacle, any opposition. And if that's the case, if they're a good shot, they're likely going to make it in. If the Knicks had that Julius Randle on this squad, they could maximize their shooters and be able to take advantage of it. And if they were able to do that in the postseason, they're not only a legit threat, they're a legit threat to go all the way to the NBA championship. That's how good of a Knicks team they could be if Julius Randle was part of it. But Julius Randle 100%. Not 90% or 80% recovering and rehabbing on that dislocated shoulder. That Randle would have not helped this Knicks team. A fully healthy Randle definitely would have. But as you noticed, though, Scott Perry did mention that the New York Knicks would still be a very hard out. And there's one main reason for that. It's because this Knicks team plays together and plays for each other. They do not play selfishly. And you can tell Jalen Brunson, bounce pass extraordinaire, passing the ball everywhere, averaging career highs in assists right now. He's been legendary with that bounce pass for Hartenstein, for Dante, for Josh Hart, whoever catches it. He's been finding players when he's getting double teamed and triple teamed. That has been a very big difference and a huge impact for this Knicks team as they try to navigate the injuries to their key personnel, like Julius Randle, like Mitchell Robinson when he was out for a certain number of months, like OG Anunoby when he was missing a handful of games. This Knicks team, for some reason or another, has found a way to win regardless of who's in the lineup. And that's something to be commended, respected, and just looked at and be admired, because not any NBA team in this league can say they've done what the New York Knicks have done. And one of the main reasons they've been able to do it is because of the play of Jalen Brunson. The Knicks are not here where they are right now, fighting for a number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference without the legendary play of Jalen Brunson. So I can understand. We can be concerned. I'm a little bit concerned for the New York Knicks, depending on the matchup in the first round, because size is something that goes against the Knicks. But they don't really have bigs like Julius Randle who are versatile, athletic, and can score in bunches. So because of that, all of the players on the Knicks have to step up and try to fill in for that. That means Precious Achiuwa has to step up. That means Dante has to step up. That means Josh Hart has to step up. That means OG Anunoby has to step up. Every single person on this team has to do just a little bit more in order for this Knicks team to go as far as possible come the postseason. If the Knicks cannot figure out the chemistry, or they have some type of concerns, lingering concerns headed into the postseason, it's those little issues that are going to become bigger issues come the postseason. That's why they have to clean it up. But if we're looking at the game last night against Boston as a benchmark, I don't think we have anything to worry about, because it seems each and every game this New York Knicks team plays together, they get better. They gain more chemistry, and they look even more dangerous. And that's all you can ask for with the New York Knicks team, missing so many players and having so many players on minutes restrictions. We have to remember that. But looking at this team, this full roster of who we have available and who we're going to have come the postseason, I feel very good about this team. I understand we can be worried. There are reasons to be worried, and we can look for them. Scott Perry mentioned one. Having a legitimate secondary scorer that you can count on is major. It's huge. And not having that for the New York Knicks absolutely hurts them. But having other players that are happy and willing to step up in his absence and do everything they can do to be one of the best players they can be for the Knicks while they're out there, that's all you can ask for. You can't ask players to go out there and play above their level. They can only play at their level and maybe exceed it just a little bit with the right motivation. However, ask them to be Julius Randle or be an all-star or be a player they're not. That's not a recipe for success. It's a recipe for destruction and making the New York Knicks worse. We can't do that. We have to make sure every player is locked in, understands their role, and understands what they need to do for this Knicks team when they're out there. And I don't think we have an issue with that at all. Every single player has stepped up while we've had these injuries. Every single player on this roster has bought into Tom Thibodeau and what he's preaching. And we've seen it even for last night. When we need somebody else to step up, when we need another player to give us buckets and give us points, besides Jalen Brunson, other people are going to step up and show out. Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Isaiah Hartenstein, every single one of these guys have done everything we needed them to do in the absence of our key players. And in the postseason, they're going to continue to do that. I absolutely believe it. You can be worried. You can be scared. And if you are, I can understand that. But me, I am not scared. I am not worried, and I have no fear. If anything, I believe. I believe in this Knicks team. I believe in the coach. I believe in Jalen Brunson. I believe in the personnel that we have. And I believe that we have enough talent on this roster to go as far as we possibly want to go come the playoffs. But what about you guys? What do you think about this Knicks team and their performance as of late and how far they can go in the postseason? And do you share Scott Perry's concerns? Do you think that the New York Knicks will not go far in the postseason? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.